Hello, I'm Peter Lee, Senior Systems Engineer with Signup Solutions in the UK. I would like to share with you an application of the Wacom Clipboard in the healthcare environment in conjunction with Alfresco ECM.
Okay, so before I run through the demo, I just want to share with you the steps that I'll be going through. I'll be capturing content on the Wacom Clipboard. Once I fill that in by pressing the action button, that copies that file into the cloud via the Android device. We have a small customization that then replicates that content into the Alfresco repository. And once it hits the repository, a couple of things will happen. It will get sent off for review by a clinician, but also get registered in the XDS repository. And that gives us the ability to view that in a timeline view using the J4care viewer.
So here we have the Wacom Clipboard. It's the new design for the business environment. It connects by Bluetooth to a Android device. So what I've got here is a form that I've created before in the CLB Create application. So if I load that into the clipboard. Okay, so the first thing that happens is that there is an area on the cloud where that template actually is being recognized. So once it's been recognized on my Android device, I can then go ahead and start writing on this piece of paper, on this form. Okay, so for example, if I put the patient name is Peter Lee, date of birth 13/07/70, NHS number 135790, and date of the initial assessment, let's put today's date, which is the 28th of the 10th, 2018. The name of the assessor in this case is Dr. Jason Scholes, and the team is Fractures Department. Okay, and then on this main body of the form, I can start filling in where the fractures might be. So, for example, it's from the back, it's on that elbow. From the front, it might be that knee, and then from the foot, it might be that part of the foot. Okay, then I can carry on filling in the form. So let's say it's traumatic wounds, and let's say. How was the wound developed? So let's say it was a car accident, and duration of the wound, say the last week. Okay, and then there might be some information that we might want to put here in terms of anything that's causing a delay in the healing. So for example, if I had diabetes and I'm a smoker. Okay, and then in terms of the rest of the form, I can put not applicable here. Not applicable here. Okay, so once that form is finished, I click the action button, and then that moves over to, if I move over to the Android app, which is capturing the information on the cloud. So you can see that's now produced a new document. So if I hit on the done button, and that's now stored that information on the cloud in my cloud storage. So once the form is completed, I can now take this and give it to the patient so they can take it home with them. Okay, and that ends the first part of the demonstration.
So once the form has uploaded to the cloud, it's also replicated to Alfresco. You can see here that it's now in one of my folders in my sites. So if I click on the file, so the first thing that comes up is a preview of my PDF, so you can see the form that I filled in here. If I look at the properties of that form, so one of the key things that we do is we capture metadata from the PDF, i.e. from the written text. So you can see there that it's done a very good job at identifying the fields and the metadata. So my name, my NHS number, my date of birth, the date of the initial assessments, the name of the assessor, Dr. Jason Scholes, and the fracture team. This can be configured to capture anything from the form. So if I come out of that, now another thing that happens in Alfresco, or you can set up to do, is you can kick off automatic workflows or processes, and you get notification of those in two different ways. You can see on the left hand side in my Outlook client, in my inbox, I have a notification. But also, if you're sitting in Alfresco all the time, then you can get a notification to your task area. Okay, so if I actually kick off that process. Okay, so the first thing that happens is that the first step, as I showed you in the intro, is a clinical review. So a doctor is now getting information from the paramedic. So they've decided that it's an urgent treatment required, and they've put some information about what's happened, who the person is. I can have a look at the assessment form and see that the information I wrote in, and then I can decide whether they need to go for some further diagnostic tests. If I say yes, then I get to see, I can get a couple of choices of what I can do here. If I pick X-ray, for example, and hit complete, and that now sends that notification to, so now I have wearing the hat of an X-ray operator. The X-ray operator gets information. The MD didn't put any information in their step, so I don't see anything. So I'm going to pretend that I'm actually taking an X-ray, and there's the X-ray, and I attach it to the process and hit complete, and that now sends it to the final step in the process, which is the treatment room. Okay, and the treatment room, again, we've got information that's coming from the paramedic, any information that the MD may have chosen to write in there, but also we have the original assessment form that you saw earlier, and also the X-ray that we just took. So in the treatment room, they're being treated, and then once that's completed, we can hit the complete. At this point, we can kick off more automated processes. So for example, there may be a letter sent directly to the patient and also to the patient's doctor. So because we've registered that form in the registry of the XDS repository, we then have the ability to view that using the J4care Patient Viewer in a timeline view. This is where we can view multiple sources from the single view. So whether you've got different XDS repositories or CMS systems or other line of business applications that you're using in your organization, we can view them all in this single view, single timeline view, coming from different sources. So what you see on the screen is the standalone UI. So that's the browser-based J4care viewer, absolutely zero footprint. You don't need to install anything. It's just runs in the browser. What we also can do is we can embed it inside an Alfresco ADF application. So you can see that exactly the same viewer, exact same timeline view, but now sitting inside the Alfresco viewer, so you get a unified view. So what we believe is the combination of the things that you've seen is really going to give you the nirvana of a shared care record.